Hey, welcome back to Blown Budget Garage. If you're new to the channel, my name is Randy. Again, this is the 73 Dart Swinger that we're building. Trying to get it ready for No Name Nationals. Been doing a bunch of body work. If you caught the last episode, you know I still got a little bit to go before we're quite ready for primer, but I got some goodies to kind of hopefully make this a little bit easier. I'll go over that, and then we'll get to work. Went ahead and did something that we're gonna keep a secret from my wife. Bought a compressor. This isn't really quite big enough to use pneumatic tools, but you know, for a hobbyist, it will work. So I got a new compressor because that's all that I had. Picked up some more sandpaper, picked up a hose, went ahead down to Harbor Freight, got these guys. Now, I got a low volume, low pressure gun for a reason. Smaller compressor, smaller shop, less overspray, less of a mess. Got a respirator for when it's time. Had to pick up another packet of cloths. I mean, have to have them. But combination of that and my compressor now will help me really eat through getting this body done. So hopefully it was money well spent. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the earbuds in. Probably not gonna time lapse this. Did that last episode. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of this prepped, get it sanded down, ready for primer. Then we'll cut you back on and go from there. So I'm gonna get to work, and what'll end up being probably 12, 15 hours will be about 3 seconds for y'all. Well, real quick, so the downside to trying to run your entire shop off of one extension cord because you're 200 feet from the house kind of sucks. Every time I turn this on, trips the breaker. All I have is just the compressor and the lights. So I am back to using the electric. I'm gonna have to throw a breaker into the box and wire in a new plug so I can just directly be on my own breaker. So it's ready. So here's the first coat. You can still see a little bit. I have one run under the handle, and you can still see some discoloration from where the Bondo is. I like to use this cheap primer for my base coat. I usually do, this car will get like 3 coats of this, just this. And I really like to use that, one, to get full coverage of the car, and it's cheap, but 2, it helps me see the spots that I need to go in and, you know, spend a couple hours blocking out by hand before I use my good primer. A little bit of a run right there too. So there's a lot of discoloration, so it really will play tricks on your eyes. But yeah, I missed that whole spot right there. But this is just the first coat. All right, second coat is on. I did get a little bit of a run right here. Kind of ran. It's cold. It's a little bit too cold to be doing this if we're truly being honest, but what can you do? Again, I want to explain why I do this way. This is cheap primer, and it lets me see the spots that I thought were good, but maybe weren't quite where I needed it to be. So what is going to end up happening, and I'll do this over the course of a couple nights off camera, but I will be blocking this down and then putting some putty where it needs it, okay? This is a quick, easy way to kind of steal a lot of time. So once this second coat dries, I'll address the dang run again, different spot this time. And then I will do a third coat, and then that will be it for the time being. The next episode will be starting over there. So again, the idea is, this is something I like to do. Maybe it might not work for you, but the idea for me is I like to get cheap primer on, because I know that when I go to block it off, a good portion, probably really close to like half of it, is gonna end up coming back off. And it'll be a combination of blocking, putting down some putty, you know, and it ends up turning out with a pretty good finish. So Don't judge it yet. Wait till you see it in paint and then judge it if you want. I'll see y'all in a couple seconds. So I got smart and brought my primer in so it can warm up. I'm gonna get the little bit of a run knocked down. There's still some discoloration. This is not final. And then even when it is final, if it's not perfect, again, I told y'all before, this is a driver. I wanna have fun with this car, I wanna cruise it. That's why I'm doing a single stage paint job. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be better. So we're still gonna have a lot of fun, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna skimp out. I will do all I can. All right, third coat is on, and it's looking really good. I'm very, very happy with that. Like I said, there's a couple spots that I'll be back out here after work and, you know, an hour here, hour there, and I'll just kind of fine tune it. Some pinholes, the cement filler is definitely better than Bondo, but you still get some pinholes here and there. So, you know, kind of got to glaze over those, no big deal. So I'm on the driver's side of the car, and let's get you a good look on this side so you can see what I'm up against. And then we'll go over the step that I'm gonna do, or what I'm gonna do after this, I should say. So here's where we're at. If you haven't seen any of the previous footage with the driver's side, I've sanded it down a couple times, and that's what should be the last coat. So I just gotta sand that down next weekend or sometime during the week on nights. I have to address this body gap still, so I got to put a couple spacers up underneath here to kind of tip this on back. Went ahead and I had some spots that I wanted to just shoot some primer on because I'd already worked them. But here's this back section that I had to put some filler on. Had some patches that I had to make and whatnot, and try to get it a little bit straighter than it was. So, you know, I've probably got 3-4 hours just right here, probably another 2 hours. So, you know, I could do like one. Man, I got runs in my paint right here too, or my primer. Cheap primer. But yeah, got to get that addressed. And engine. We'll talk about what I got to do engine wise next. So like I said in the previous episode, the steering gearbox, I got to pull it. And the brake booster and stuff I'd already pulled. So what does that mean? That means that the next probably couple more episodes, because I still got this piece that I got to sand down and prime, my Valence. I don't even know where that came from. Anyways, those two pieces are super solid. Just got to sand them down and prime them. So, you know, if we figure one day for sanding, you know, or one episode really of showing y'all me getting that knocked out, or maybe I might even just do it where I get the work done and then we do an episode where, you know, these are ready for primer and then I got to sand those down and prime them because we're getting really, really, really close. I still got a primer all through in here, and I put some filler down where I ground down everything. So, you know, I think, you know, probably three, maybe 4 days of just long hours, hard work, and this car will be in its first few coats of cheap primer, which means in between doing things like here in a couple episodes, I'm going to pull the engine, right? That way I can order my rear main, order the steering gearbox. So what I'll do is I might start rotating them. So I might do one more episode of Bodywork. Then the next episode we'll do where I pull the engine in preparation for the parts to come in. So I'll rotate a little bit, but we're really, really, really close because after all this, you know, it's all interior stuff. I got wood to make my package tray. So I'm trying to move along as fast as I can, but some of this stuff just takes time. So with that being said, let's get one more look. I mean, God, this car has come a long, long way from how I got it. I mean, it was rusting, molding, you know, acorns, pine needles, you name it. This car was just absolutely trashed. So it's come a long way. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the video frequency that I've been able to do. I'm going to try my best to continue on with this. So, yeah. Have a good week. See you next time.